Bella.
Hi.
It's good to see you again.
You too.
How'd you get in here today?
I took the bus actually,
Oh,
so I don't really like the bus.
yeah, you've mentioned that.
Yeah, but I guess the weather's warming up a little bit, so at least it wasn't too bad trying to carry like an umbrella and all that other stuff on the bus. So
Absolutely, it can be such a
yeah.
pain. Yeah.
Made it safely though.
Yeah, absolutely you did. It's good to have you here. Last week we spoke quite a bit about some, I guess, anxiety and things going on about, sort of comparing yourself to others and having some self-esteem challenges along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get started today, I was just wondering if you brought along your safe place activity that we did last week.
Yes, I did.
Beautiful. Yeah, so I'll just remind you that you can keep that with you throughout all sessions and even beyond that, into your own life. Yeah, it's just something we can have and use and refer to. It can be particularly good when perhaps you're maybe feeling a bit off or maybe not the best even in session.
Mm-hmm.
You can always refer to that. Yeah. Is there anything really important you'd like to bring up today?
I guess just like the body image stuff that like I've kind of briefly mentioned, and just how I feel about myself and my body in comparison to others.
Yeah, it seems like that was quite a important thing for you last weekend, obviously bringing it up today. Something that's been playing a bit on your mind. Yeah,
I think it's gone from just being like a me issue to being like it's affecting other parts of my life now. So yeah.
Yeah, I hear this sense of sadness on your voice when you mention that.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, disappointed in myself because I'm not going to see my friends as much, or not really at all anymore. I feel like I'm just like so overwhelmed by how I feel about myself. I don't feel comfortable leaving the house anymore. So I go to uni and then I go home. And that's it.
And that's something that you're wanting to work on and hopefully change, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I miss how I used to feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if, what you mentioned is quite important to you, and if we could do an activity today that sort of relates to that inner voice that's coming up for you, that's affecting you hanging out with your friends and how you see yourself and things like that. How does that sound?
I would like to try it.
Okay. If you would like to grab a piece of paper.
Yeah. Can I use this, just a new one?
Of course, yeah. If you would like a different size, just let me know, or anything else. I have a few options here for you as well. But I'm just wondering today if we can sort of do a bit of an expressive activity and take that sort of inner voice that you're mentioning and that, all those feelings and, avoiding seeing your friends and things like that, and if we can sort of use some writing, expressive writing, to sort of get that out of your head in a way that isn't through your voice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's up to you what colour, what medium you would like to use. But I'd like to invite you to write down some perhaps words or coloured words even, that are representing that inner voice that's going on.
Okay. So I can use any of this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to reiterate that, there's no right or wrong here. If you spell something wrong or you use the wrong colour, there's no expectation. It's simply to help you express.
So this will be like, maybe like how, like words about how I feel about myself? Is that
potentially, if that's what's coming up for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. think
Yeah. Big deep breath after that.
yeah.
Would you like to show them what you wrote?
They're just scary words, I guess.
Hmm.
Like, I think thinking them about yourself is something, but I think seeing it on paper is different.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I think, like, I don't know. I chose blue
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, well, these words make me feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought I would choose red, but then I feel like I didn't like the red.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind it for some of the words that I wrote. I wrote 2 words. And then I didn't like it. I feel like I changed this one. So this is what I did. I probably should have showed you. But I did consuming in grey because I feel like that's the one that I feel the most. And then just some more like bland colours because they're not, I don't know, I feel like if it was happy things I'd write it in like pinks and yellows, but I feel like they weigh me down.
They weigh you down.
Yeah.
It seems like you have those quite set colours that reflected those words and the way you speak to yourself and sort of it correlates with the emotion that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
The more I look at it, I don't like looking at it.
What's coming up for you there?
I think it just like, I don't know, this might sound a bit silly, but it's like, I wouldn't call someone these words, but I'm calling myself those words. Like I feel them.
Okay. You mentioned it might sound a bit silly, but I just want to remind you that nothing is silly in this space. Unless you think it is, like we draw a silly drawing or something, but everything you write out here is meant to be a means of expression rather than putting some value on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to welcome anything that might arise.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that, saying them, well, I guess in this case, writing them is a little bit different to saying them in your head, and you're struggling to imagine that you would ever say these things to another person.
Yeah.
Which kind of links in with what I'd like to ask you to do next.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you can take maybe a bit of a different approach and write some words that might be in response to what you've written already there, or they can be totally new, but more of a self-compassionate lens. And some clients may struggle with this at first because sometimes we can get quite used to talking to ourselves in a particular way. But you already mentioned it yourself that you wouldn't talk to a friend like this. So perhaps if that helps, maybe writing some words in response or whatever comes out really, that are more of a self-compassionate lens. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Once again, if there's no right or wrong, and if you're struggling to find those words or whatever comes out, whatever comes to mind, a form of expression is what we're doing. Yeah.
And same with like the colours.
Yeah, whatever colours come to you.
Okay.
Are you associated those with particular colours? So maybe these will be different. They could be the same.
Yep.
It's whatever you think. You could even use different materials if you need.
Okay.
It's up to you.
didn't write a response for all of them, but I think I'm done with
How was
otherwise. Better. I think it made me think like I don't know, I feel like it just like flipped. I was like, oh, like for example, like one of the things I wrote was overweight, but when you told me to be compassionate to myself, I wrote strong. Because I do like sport and I do like running and other things, and I feel like I am strong. And then like I originally wrote that I wasn't like other people, but then I wrote different, and I wrote it in pink because I think that being different is okay. And then I don't know, I wrote ugly, and then instead of writing pretty, which I feel like maybe it's because I don't think of myself like that, but I wrote kind. Like,
so even if it didn't directly correlate, you found that thing to write instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like tired, I wrote hardworking. Just made me, I don't know.
And you used some different colours as well.
Yeah, I feel like I used colours that I like. And yeah, I just feel like I was so mean to myself. When you see it on paper, it's like...
It can be a bit of a different perspective.
Yeah. I think, like, thinking about it, like, I wouldn't talk to another person like that. I'm like, oh, I would never call someone overweight or ugly. Like, yeah.
And you were able to reframe that for yourself, I guess, in this activity. Yeah. Now, we're running a bit out of time today, but I want to thank you so much for sharing and openly discussing what you drew with me. It can be quite a personal activity. I was wondering if you'd like to do maybe just a quick deep breath before we go, maybe a couple of deep breaths.
Yeah, I would like that.
That's good. Out. In. You can keep this with you if you like, when you've got your little book. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you again so much for coming today. And I'll see you next week.